My parents yelled, "Your sister deserves everything," first, during Sunday dinner. So I quietly removed them all from the $8 million trust fund. Hey lovely people. Subscribe to be part of this family and tell us in the comments where you're watching from. With that, let's continue the story. The roasted chicken sat golden in the center of Mama's antique dining table, steam curling toward the crystal chandelier Grandma Adelaide bought in 1952. I'd driven 3 hours to be here, exhausted from closing a major acquisition at the firm, my tailored blazer still perfect despite the highway miles. "And baby, pass your sister the good pieces," Mama said, her voice honey-sweet but commanding. I paused, serving spoon hovering over the platter. "I haven't served myself yet. Your sister gets first choice. You know how this works." Daddy didn't even look up from his phone, probably checking his sports bets again. My younger sister Liliana smirked from across the table, her French-tipped nails drumming impatiently. At 26, she'd never held a job longer than 4 months. Her career consisted of failed MLM schemes funded by family handouts. "Actually, I'm the guest who drove the furthest. And Nicole." Mama's fork clattered against fine china. "Don't you start with that professional woman attitude in my house. Your sister deserves everything first. You get what's left over. If anything." The words hung in the air like smoke. Liliana giggled, reaching across to spear the best pieces of breast meat. My 15-year-old nephew Jacob, Liliana's son, avoided my eyes. If you've ever felt invisible in your own family, hit that like button. The story gets deeper. I set down the spoon carefully, my grandmother's engagement ring catching the light. The same grandmother who'd made me executor of her trust fund 18 months ago, right before the cancer took her. "Pass the potatoes," I said quietly, my decision already forming. Liliana loaded her plate like she was at a buffet. Mashed potatoes, candied yams, 3 dinner rolls. "Jacob needs new Jordans. The ones that drop Friday? $220. And you're paying, right?" It wasn't a question. I cut my chicken precisely, remembering Grandma Adelaide's lessons about composure. "I don't recall offering." "Girl, you make 6 figures. Liliana rolled her eyes. "What's $220 to you? It's not about the amount." "Here we go," Daddy interrupted, finally looking up. "Miss Corporate Big Shot can't help her own nephew. That law degree made you think you're better than us. I'm a financial analyst, not a lawyer. And I've bought Jacob 3 pairs of shoes this year." Mama's lips thinned. "Your sister's had a hard life, and single mother, baby daddy ain't worth nothing. You got your fancy downtown loft and your BMW. Least you could do is help family." The irony burned. Liliana got pregnant at 21 after Mama and Daddy threw her a lavish finding herself trip to Miami. When my college fund mysteriously disappeared my sophomore year, they'd explained Liliana needed it for emergency expenses. A designer dog that died within 6 months. I'd worked 2 jobs to finish my degree. "I help constantly," I said evenly. "Last month I paid her car insurance. The month before her light bill. And we appreciate it, baby," Mama cooed. "That's what family does. Have you experienced favoritism this blatant? Comment below." Liliana's phone buzzed. She answered mid-chew. "Hey girl. Yeah, and's buying Jacob those Jordans." After dinner, I helped Mama with dishes. A ritual she only enforced for me, never Liliana. Through the kitchen window, I watched Daddy and Liliana laughing in the backyard, probably planning their next request. "You seem tense, baby," Mama said, handing me a plate to dry. "Just tired from the drive. You know your sister looks up to you, right? Even if she doesn't show it." Mama's voice carried that particular tone, the one that preceded asking for something. She was telling me about this business opportunity. Needs about $5,000 to get started. Real estate coaching program. My hands stilled on the dish towel. "Mama, those are scams." "There you go, being negative. Can't support your sister's dreams." She turned to me, soapy hands on her hips. "You got all this money sitting around. Grandma left you comfortable, I'm sure." My blood ran cold. "What makes you think Grandma left me anything?" "Chili, please. You were always her favorite. That woman was loaded," That big house, all those investments your granddaddy made. I'm her daughter. I know she had money. Grandma's estate is being settled. Not a lie. I was settling it by honoring her explicit wishes. Well, when that settlement comes through, remember your family. Liliana needs help now, not later. And Jacob deserves a good life. If this resonates, subscribe so you don't miss what happens next. I dried the last plate in silence, thinking about Grandma's voice the day she'd called me to her lawyer's office. Weak from chemotherapy, she'd gripped my hand with surprising strength. And baby, you're the only one with sense and a backbone. They'll come for this money like vultures. Don't you dare let them waste what took your granddaddy 40 years to build. The guest bedroom, my childhood room, had been converted to Liliana's storage space. Boxes of her failed business ventures lined the walls. Unused inventory from a leggings pyramid scheme, dusty boxes of overpriced supplements, a box labeled Empowerment Conference Materials from some self-help scam. I moved a box to reach the bed and found Jacob sitting in the corner with a book, earbuds in. Didn't know you were hiding in here, I said gently. He pulled out one earbud. Needed quiet. Mom's showing Grandma her new Instagram business page. His voice carried the exhausted cynicism of someone twice his age. What are you reading? He showed me a college prep book. Guidance counselor gave it to me. Said I could get scholarships if I keep my grades up. Pride swelled in my chest. That's amazing, Jacob. You're thinking ahead. Could you? He hesitated. Could you not tell Mom? She said college is a waste. That I should help her with her businesses instead. My heart cracked. This brilliant kid, being groomed to become another family ATM instead of reaching his potential. Your education is between you and your future, I said carefully. I won't say anything. Thanks, Auntie Kay. He smiled. A rare, genuine expression. You're the only one who treats me like I matter. That sentence followed me back downstairs. Drop a comment if you see the pattern forming. Liliana was indeed showing Mama her phone, talking rapid fire about follower counts and engagement rates. Neither noticed my return. Once this takes off, I'll be making 6 figures easy. Then and won't be the only successful one in the family. Mama beamed. That's my girl. Always thinking big. Monday morning, I sat in my office overlooking the downtown skyline, unable to focus on the Henderson portfolio. Instead, I pulled out the folder I'd been avoiding, the one labeled Adelaide Morrison Estate, Beneficiary Documentation. Grandma had been meticulous. Every dollar accounted for, every intention clear. The trust totaled $8.3 million. Real estate holdings, investment accounts, her late husband's life insurance policies carefully grown over decades. She'd specified education funds for her great-grandchildren, charitable donations to her church, and maintenance costs for her house. But the bulk, $6.5 million, had a condition: to be distributed at and Nicole Morrison's sole discretion to family members who have demonstrated responsibility, independence, and genuine care for others rather than personal gain. Her handwritten note was paperclipped to the page. Baby girl, you'll know who deserves it and who doesn't. Trust your gut. They raised you to be a doormat, but I raised you to be a queen. Don't let them take what they haven't earned. My phone buzzed. Mama, did you think about that $5,000 for Liliana? She needs an answer today. Another text, this time from Liliana. Jacob needs a tutor for advanced math. $80 per session. You're covering it right. Then Daddy, your mama's birthday coming up. Thinking we should all chip in for that cruise she wants. You can cover me and your sister's portions. I'm between jobs. He'd been between jobs for 3 years. Share this if you've been the family ATM. I opened my desk drawer and pulled out the second folder. The one I'd been compiling for 6 months. Bank statements showing $47,000 I'd loaned to family since Grandma died. Not $1 repaid. Wednesday, Mama called during my lunch break. And we need to talk about Thanksgiving. It's only September, Mama. I'm planning ahead. Liliana wants to host this year. Show off her growth. But she needs help with cost. Turkey ham, all the fixings for 20 people. Figure about $800. You'll handle that, right? I pressed my fingers to my temple. Liliana doesn't even cook. She's learning. Don't be negative. And she needs a new dining set. Her table's all scratched up. I saw a beautiful one at that furniture store, $2,400. Early Christmas present. Mama, I can't keep. Can't or won't. Her voice turned sharp. Your sister's trying to build a life and you're out here being stingy. What would Grandma think? The audacity of using Grandma, the woman who'd seen right through them, as manipulation fuel. Grandma would think I should focus on my own future, I said carefully. Your future? Baby, you're 32 and single. No man, no kids, just that job you're married to. Your sister's got a child to raise. She needs support. The implication hung heavy. My worth was measured by my willingness to fund their lifestyle. That evening I visited Grandma's house, now technically mine though I hadn't told anyone. The property manager had kept it pristine. I sat in her reading room, surrounded by her books and photos. One picture caught my eye. Grandma at my master's graduation beaming with pride. The only family member who'd attended. This story is hitting different, like and subscribe. My phone buzzed again. A group text from Liliana to the entire family. Family meeting Sunday. Important announcement. Everyone needs to be there. And no excuses. Sunday arrived with the weight of inevitability. I drove those 3 hours again, this time with my folders locked in my trunk and a recording app ready on my phone. Legal in our state with one-party consent. The house buzzed with unusual energy. Liliana had done her makeup Instagram perfect. Mama wore her special occasion dress. Even Daddy had shaved. There's my successful sister. Liliana hugged me like we were close. We weren't. The living room held more people than expected. Mama's sister Aunt Diane, Daddy's brother Uncle Troy, and some woman I didn't recognize wearing too much perfume and a blazer that screamed life coach. Everyone, this is Gabrielle. She's my business mentor, Liliana announced proudly. Gabrielle smiled with too many teeth. Liliana has told me so much about your family's commitment to supporting each other's dreams. My radar activated. And sit down, baby. Mama patted the couch beside her. Liliana has exciting news. Liliana stood at the front of the room like a presenter. So, as you all know, I've been working on my personal brand. Gabrielle has shown me how to monetize my influence and build generational wealth. She has 42 Instagram followers, Jacob whispered to me. I suppressed a smile. The opportunity requires an investment, Liliana continued. Gabrielle's coaching program is $15,000. But she's confident I'll make that back in 6 months. Plus, I need about $10,000 for inventory. $25,000? I interrupted. Comment if you saw this coming. Investment, Anne. In family. Liliana's smile tightened. Daddy's putting in $3,000, Mama's covering $2,000, Aunt Diane and Uncle Troy are chipping in. We need you to cover the rest. That's $20,000 you want from me. You're the one with money. Grandma made sure of that. The room went silent. Everyone stared at me, expectant, entitled, certain of my compliance. What exactly did Grandma make sure of? I asked quietly. Mama jumped in. Baby, we know she left you comfortable. It's okay to share with family. That's what she would have wanted. Really? You know what Grandma wanted. Don't take that tone, Daddy warned. I stood, pulling out my phone. Let me show you something. I opened my photo gallery to pictures of Grandma's funeral. Notice anything? Confusion rippled through the room. I was the only one there, I said. Grandma's funeral. The woman who raised you, Mama. Who babysat all of us. Who cooked Sunday dinners for 40 years. When she died, I was alone in that church with 3 of her elderly friends. We were dealing with things, Liliana said defensively. You were in Cancun. Posted 17 Instagram stories. Mama, you said you had a hair appointment you couldn't miss. Daddy, you had a poker game. The life coach Gabrielle shifted uncomfortably. The last 6 months of Grandma's life while cancer ate her alive, I was there. Every chemo appointment, every hospital stay, every terrifying 3 a.m. call. Alone. We were going to visit. Mama started. She died waiting for you. My voice cracked. The woman begged to see her daughter one last time and you couldn't be bothered. Hit that subscribe button. This gets real. Aunt Diane spoke up. And we all grieve differently. This isn't about grief. It's about a pattern. The same pattern where Liliana's needs always come first, where I'm valued only for my checkbook, where my accomplishments are minimized unless they benefit everyone else. That's not fair, Mama said, tears forming, her reliable manipulation tactic. You want to talk about fair? Let's discuss fair. I opened my notes app, the one I'd been maintaining. March, $1,200 for Liliana's emergency root canal. He posted pictures at a spa that same day. April, $800 for Jacob's school trip. Except the school called me because the payment never arrived. Liliana kept it. May, $2,000 for Mama's medical procedure. Her new patio furniture arrived a week later. You're keeping tabs on helping family? Daddy stood angry. I'm documenting being used. I stayed calm, channeling Grandma's steel spine. June, $3,500 for Liliana's car repair. She traded the car in 2 weeks later for a lease she can't afford and expects me to cover. July, $1,800 for a plumbing emergency at your house, Daddy. Your plumber friend confirmed no work was ever done. That's enough, Mama hissed. August, $4,200 for Liliana's investment opportunity, essential oils that are still in her garage. And my personal favorite, last year's $8,000 for family therapy that Grandma suggested before she died. None of you attended a single session. I went alone for 6 months. The life coach Gabrielle quietly gathered her things. I should probably stay, Liliana snapped. This is Justin being dramatic. Dramatic? I've given $47,000 in 18 months. Not loaned, given. Because none of you have ever repaid $1. Sheriff, you've been here. Uncle Troy cleared his throat. Maybe we all got a little comfortable. Comfortable? You called me at midnight last month begging for $600 for bail money. I found out later you'd never been arrested. You wanted cash for a fishing boat. His face reddened. Every single one of you has lied to me, manipulated me, and treated me like an ATM. And you know what? I let you. Because I was raised to believe family means sacrifice. That being successful means I owe you. But here's the real announcement, I continued, my voice steady. Grandma Adelaide Morrison died with an estate worth $8.3 million. You could hear a pin drop. Liliana's mouth fell open. Mama grabbed the armrest for support. She made me executor. Not her daughter. Not her other grandchildren. Me. And she gave me full discretion over distribution. You've been sitting on millions while we struggled? Daddy's voice rose. That money belongs to this family. No, sir. It belonged to Grandma. Now it belongs to her trust and I control it. Liliana found her voice. You have to share it. Legally, Mama's entitled. Actually, North Carolina law allows testators full freedom to distribute assets as they wish. Grandma's will is ironclad. I had 3 attorneys review it. And Nicole Morrison, Mama stood trembling with rage or performance, hard to tell. I am your mother. I carried you for 9 months. Raised you. Fed you. And this is how you repay me? Hoarding your grandmother's money. The grandmother you couldn't be bothered to visit when she was dying. She never liked me. Mama's mask slipped. Always criticized how I raised you girls, always acted like she was better than us. That money should be mine by right. Finally, the truth. If this is shocking you, drop a comment. So we're doing honesty now? I pulled up my recording app, hit play. Mama's voice filled the room. Make sure you butter and up this weekend. If that old woman left her anything we need and feeling generous. It was from 3 weeks before Grandma died. Mama's face drained of color. I've got 11 months of recordings. Every manipulation, every lie, every time you coached Liliana on how to squeeze more money from me. My therapist suggested I document everything. Smart woman. Liliana lunged forward and I stepped back. You recorded us? That's illegal. One-party consent state. Perfectly legal. Want to hear more? I scrolled through files. Here's Daddy explaining to Uncle Troy how to pretend his truck broke down so I'd buy him a new one. Here's you, Liliana, laughing about how stupid I am for believing your sob stories. Baby, please. Mama's tears flowed freely now. We're family. We can work through this. No. The word felt powerful. We can't. Because you don't see me as family. You see me as a resource. An obligation. The responsible one who's supposed to sacrifice her dreams so you can fund yours. I turned to Jacob, who sat frozen. Your grandmother set up an education trust for you. Full ride to any college plus living expenses. It's protected, no one can touch it. You're getting out. His eyes widened with hope and tears. As for the rest of you? I looked at each face, shocked, angry, calculating how to fix this. You're not getting $1. Not for businesses, not for emergencies, not for birthdays or Christmas. The trust will fund charitable causes Grandma cared about, maintain her properties, and support actually responsible family members. You can't do this. Liliana screamed. I already did. Papers were filed yesterday. The trust is restructured. You're all removed as beneficiaries. Daddy stepped forward, and something in his expression made me glad I'd parked on the street for a quick exit. Like this video if you're rooting for Anne. You ungrateful, he started. No. Ungrateful is ignoring the woman who loved you while she died. Ungrateful is treating your daughter like a bank. Ungrateful is raising one child to be entitled and the other to be a servant. I grabbed my purse. I'm done. Walking out of that house felt like shedding 50 pounds of invisible weight. My hands shook as I drove, adrenaline crashing through my system. The calls started before I hit the highway. Mama, Daddy, Liliana. 17 missed calls in 30 minutes. I blocked their numbers. Then the extended family weighed in. Aunt Diane, how could you abandon your mother? Uncle Troy, family forgives, Anne. This is cruel. Cruel. The word lodged in my throat. What's cruel is a childhood where every achievement was minimized because it might outshine Liliana. What's cruel is working 2 jobs through college while my struggling sister got spa days. What's cruel is spending your grandmother's last months alone because your family couldn't be inconvenienced. I drove to Grandma's house, my house, and sat in her garden. The roses she'd planted 40 years ago still bloomed. Her journal lay on the patio table where I'd left it, bookmarked to her final entry. Anne will doubt herself. They've trained her to. But that girl has my strength even if she doesn't see it yet. She'll do the right thing even when it hurts. That's why I trust her. She's the only one who understands that love without respect isn't love at all. I sobbed until my ribs ached. Subscribe so you don't miss the ending. My phone buzzed. An unknown number. Against better judgment I answered. Auntie Kay. Jacob's voice, small and scared. Mom took my phone, but I'm calling from my friends. Are you okay? I should ask you that. It's bad here. Mom's crying, Grandma's yelling, saying terrible things about you. But. He paused. Thank you. For my college fund. For seeing me. You're going to do amazing things, Jacob. Can I still call you sometimes? My heart cracked wider. Always. You're not them. 6 months later I stood in Grandma's garden, now fully restored, every rose bush thriving. The house had become a weekend sanctuary, filled with her books, her photos, her presents. The family had tried everything. Guilt trips through relatives, social media posts painting me as heartless, even showing up at my office. My therapist helped me maintain boundaries. My attorney sent cease and desist letters. Eventually they stopped. Not because they understood, but because I stopped being accessible. Jacob called weekly. His grades were exceptional. He'd been accepted to 3 colleges with full academic scholarships. Wouldn't even need Grandma's trust for tuition, just living expenses. We'd meet for coffee, talk about his future, carefully avoid mentioning his mother. She asked me to convince you to give her money, he admitted once. Said you'd listen to me. And I told her I wouldn't manipulate the only person who ever believed in me. His jaw set with determination. I'm not like them, Auntie Kay. No, baby. You're not. The trust funded 3 scholarships annually for first-generation college students. It maintained Grandma's house as a community space for financial literacy workshops. It donated to her church's food bank. If this story touched you, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. I never reconciled with my parents or Liliana. Some relationships aren't meant to be salvaged. They're meant to teach you the difference between family and relatives. Mama sent a card on my birthday. You'll understand when you have children. I understood perfectly. I understood that real love doesn't demand you set yourself on fire to keep others warm. The saddest truth? I didn't lose a family in Grandma's dining room that Sunday. I lost an illusion I'd been clinging to, that if I just gave enough, sacrificed enough, proved myself enough, they'd finally see me. They saw me fine. They just didn't care. Now I honor the one person who did. Grandma Adelaide, who taught me that sometimes the most loving thing you can do is walk away. That having a backbone isn't the same as having a hard heart. I visit her grave every Sunday with fresh roses. You were right, I tell her headstone. About all of it. The trust will outlive me doing good for generations. That money is creating opportunities for kids like Jacob. Kids who were taught their worth is measured by what they provide others. Sometimes I still doubt myself. Wonder if I was too harsh. Then I remember they never apologized. Never acknowledged the hurt. Only mourned the money. That tells me everything. If you've ever had to choose yourself over toxic family, know this. You're not alone. You're not wrong. And you're not obligated to fund other people's dysfunction at the cost of your peace. Thanks for watching. If this story resonated, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, you don't owe anyone access to your life, your resources, or your energy just because you share DNA. Sometimes the family you need isn't the one you were born into. It's the one you choose. Please share this video if you believe in setting healthy boundaries. Drop a comment sharing your own experiences. And remember to subscribe for more stories about real people finding their strength. The roses in Grandma's garden bloom every spring. So do I.